Says Orchot Tzadikim Sharach Zariyut. The gate of cruelty, he says, Hepech HaRachmanut, it's the opposite of mercy. Achzari hema velo yerhamu. As the pasuk says, they are cruel and they show no mercy. Who's cruel? The souls of the wicked. Nefesh Rashaim, the wicked people. A big sign of their wickedness is their cruelty. But included in cruelty is Gam b'midah azod nimtzet azeh panim. It's found by people who are brazen. Who are brazen? No shame. They act bodigi. They act very, very outspoken, and they don't care what anybody says. And he has this, and I assert my will over other people, as it says in the pasuk, "Goy az panim asher lo yisa panim lazaken v'na'ar lo yihon." It says the brazen nation, they do not respect the old and not even merciful to the young. They don't care you're old, they don't care you're young. I always come first. And then a person has to know, the Mishnah says, "Ach meri yevakesh ra malach zari yeshulach bo." The wicked man seeks rebellion, but a cruel messenger will be sent against him. You should know that the punishment of the wicked, they get special punishment. They get these people who have this wickedness of cruelty, and then they're brazen. The cruel man doesn't possess any ability to do hesed. It's very hard for him, someone who's cruel, to do hesed. He goes, he asks for tzedakah, go work. Wow, I have to give you tzedakah. Everybody works. He's being cruel, right? He's not being merciful. And let's say he asks you for a favor. And why do I have to do a favor for you? And who says you deserve to do a favor for you? And he already starts thinking like this. And if you're missing money, maybe Hashem wants you to be missing money. Who says I have to help that for you? Maybe I'm betar shvi, you deserve it. That's why Hashem made you like this. So he already uses his logic. In his logic, he's so fused with the cruelty that that's how he thinks. A cruel person is very far from good traits. He'll not give to the poor, he'll not give loans, he'll not give presents, and Chas v'shalom, he will not even good to his family members. Some people, they grew up in cultures like Soviet Russia. Wake up, get up, you have to be like a soldier. Facts don't care about your feelings. Oh, you cry, you're a baby? What, you cry, you're tired? Oh, you're sick, you don't feel good? Oh, what's wrong with you? He talks like this to his sons. He talks like this to his family members. What is this? Have mercy on the guy. The guy doesn't feel well. He's crying. What? Be a man. Like this. Okay, there's a time and a place for those kind of behavior, those kind of speeches, but not all the time you give those speeches. Some people hate their parents when they talk to them like that. Their parents are cruel. They say, little kids don't understand that you're doing it for their benefit, that you want to make them strong. They think that you hate them. They think that they did something against you. Now you have to be so mean to them and be a bully to them. And they could grow up, Chas v'shalom, hating their parents, right? Because the parents think they're being good and they really end up being cruel. And usually it's a cycle. Usually the way your parents raised you is usually the way you try to raise your parents naturally, unless you break it, unless you force yourself to be different. But a person that can be cruel even to his family members, Chas v'shalom. He says, praiseworthy is the man who's wise to the poor man. On the day of evil, Hashem will rescue him. And the opposite by the cruel man. The cruel man will not be distressed by the anguish of his friends. The cruel man can see his friends suffer. His friends don't. The cruel man, he sees somebody carrying something heavy. Well, I have to help him, right? Let him finish. Let him do the job. You chose to go carry this. I didn't tell you to go carry this, right? So over there, all these types of people, it says, David HaMelech, Ani b'chalotam levushi sak, aneti b'tzom nafshi, utfileti archaki tashuv. When my foes were sick, I wore my sackcloth. David HaMelech says, no. What's a good person do? Person goes and he sees his friend suffering, he's also going to wear sackcloth. He's also going to be in suffering. And it's called Nose be'ol chavero. You have to be carrying the burden of your brother as well. A person cannot say, oh, listen, as long as I'm good, as long as I have money, as long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. No, a person has to see, if he has somebody else who needs help, if you can help, you should help. I afflicted my soul with fasting, and may my prayer for them return to my own bosom. Meaning, David HaMelech prayed for somebody else. You don't have money, so give them money. If you don't have money, give them time. Right? Give them time. Pray for them. Why not pray for him? What's the problem with that? So therefore, a person has to try and think of ways to be merciful with his friends. As it says, the trait of the cruelty is found only in those whose nature is like that of lions, who tear and ravage. What does it mean? They're very selfish. What does the Gemara say? A person who marries off his daughter to Ama Ares, person who says, he tells his daughter, listen, you got to marry a wealthy guy, you know. The main thing is he has money, you know. And what about if he learns Torah? It's okay. After, patom, after. The main thing is that he has money. So what happened? He's not Haaretz. He's a businessman, works all day, doesn't learn Torah. So he's a nice guy. Maybe he has some midot, maybe he doesn't. But he doesn't learn any Torah. So what happens? The Gemara says it's because if you tied her in front of the lion. Why? I fed her to the lions. How did I fed her? I gave her a good life. What do you mean? Now she's not going to cry. What, you think money grows on trees? So the Gemara says, no, you don't understand. He's going to come home and has Nachman. He's going to be upset. He didn't do good business. Who's going to yell at? He's going to yell at his wife. And after he berates her, he puts her down. Sushim and there's 8 windows, 2 doors to this house. Choose which one you want to go to. And then what? And then he's going to come to her at the end of the day and say, oh, my love, how are you? And he's going to try to be intimate with her, right? So what happens? He slaps her during the day, and then he wants to be with her at night. So it's like a lion. A lion, first, how does he attack the animal? He takes the deer, he smacks the deer, knocks the deer out, kills the deer, and then he eats. So he says the person who marries off daughter Amaretz, and you're marrying him off to a person who could be cruel, who could be selfish. And cruelty and selfishness go together. And what is a cruel person? A cruel person only thinks about himself. For him, he has mercy on himself. He says, I need help. I need to do for myself. Other person, no, I don't need to do anything for them. Let them figure it out. That's okay. That's their issue. Yeah, so a person has to be careful not to fall into the selfishness of cruelty. Furthermore, the trait of cruelty in a man's soul causes him to take revenge on his enemies. As it says in the Torah, do not take revenge, do not bear a grudge. The Rambam puts the trait of cruelty together with forgiveness. So therefore, a person who's cruel doesn't give forgiveness. A person who's merciful, he gives forgiveness. And who holds a grudge? What's the difference between revenge and grudge? Revenge is, you didn't give me a hammer, I'm not going to give you a hammer back. Grudge is, you didn't give me a hammer, here, take my hammer. You see, I'm not like you. I'm not like you, that you didn't give me a hammer, but I'm going to give you a hammer. But you should know that I remember, I didn't forget. That's holding a grudge. So therefore, a person cannot even mention what somebody else did. A person can say, well, why should I do hesed with him? When I was in the same situation, he didn't help me. Nobody helped me. Why should I help them? Let them go fly a kite. No, that's holding a grudge. That's holding revenge. The person has to know that even though they weren't merciful with you, you still have to be merciful with them. Included in category cruelty is stealing anything from that belongs to his friend. How can a person steal from somebody else? You're causing them pain. You're actually stealing their soul, the Torah says. They put time and effort in to get this money. What's your soul? Your soul is time and effort in this world. So if you stole their soul, you stole part of them, you're causing them suffering. You made them waste their life by stealing from them. No, it's okay, I come first. So therefore, it's a sign of cruelty. As we know, robbery is what? Destroyed the world. God, if he would have tolerated the immorality, he could have forgiven, they could have done teshuvah, but he sealed the decree for this, that they went and did robbery. Even a person who gives a loan, right? A person who gives a loan, you're not allowed to go lo yigos. You can't come to him and say, where's my money? What do you mean? You asked me last week. I told you I need some time. I don't have the money. Now, if you go again and you say, where's my money? You know how these mafia collectors, they come? So listen, where's my money? You know, I could start sending my friends over here. These windows, they're not going to be here tomorrow if I don't have my money, right? He starts talking like this to his friend. He says, listen, I know a lot of people. We can make a few things disappear. We can make a few bada bing, bada booms over here. You don't want me to start with you, right? You're going to give me my money, right? So therefore, a person who does this, he's being cruel. He's being cruel. Have mercy. If you would be in the same situation, wouldn't you want people to give you an extension? So therefore, a person, the Torah says, do not act with him. Lo tiye lo kinoshe. Do not act with him as a creditor. You should not make him suffer if you know he has nothing to pay with. So then you can't make him suffer. Obviously, the Torah tells us, do not afflict the widow, do not afflict the orphan, do not afflict or oppress a convert. All these situations. Why? Because they're people usually they're easy to take advantage of. They don't have support system. They don't have anybody to help them. So you could easily take advantage of them, rip them off. You could use them, pretend to be their friend. They're not. And a person has to know over there also. The Torah wants us to learn to be merciful and not cruel. 24 times the Torah tells us to love the Jew, to love the convert. 24 times. So to show you that a person has to go out of his way to show love to these people, to make himself a merciful person and not a cruel person. Even cruelty to animals. The Torah, Sar Ba'alei Hayim, to show you, even you think he's not a person. The Gemara says, if an animal were obligated, Sar Ba'alei Hayim deoraita, how much more so a person? So a person, even an animal you have to have mercy on. The Gemara says that the sages, they used to give their servants to eat every dish they ate. And they would feed their animals and the servants before they themselves ate. So look how much the Torah tells us we have to go out of our way to show mercy to everybody, even the people in our house. It's not nice that your cleaning lady sees you eat dinner and you don't offer her to eat. Okay, maybe they shouldn't sit with you, but they should give them what to eat. You should say, did you eat lunch? Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? A person has to be, a person who's smart, it's called shustre. You don't even need to tell him. He already knows. He already knows how to take care of everybody. But a person who's cruel, selfish, even if you tell him, Chas v'shalom, he won't even realize. Baruch Nayonam.